Hi guys, welcome to my channel all about YouTubers 13. On my channel I like to go into creators channels. I do a few things. I go into all the data, statistics, the earnings, daily, weekly, monthly, you name it, whether they're up, whether they're down on views. I also like to do my exposing videos on people who have been lying, or people who have brought subscribers, as well as just other topics of interest. Today, well, earlier on I done a video on Sean Atwood. His channel has been deleted. Still not got too much information about it, but I'm keeping up on it, and I'll say, what information comes up, I'll bring it out to you. Apart from that, YouTube is very stringent, and I can't even get into debates or anything. I'm trying to be really cautious, so don't take it offensive if if you comment. It's just one of them, do you know what I mean? There's over 50 million creators, and until you get a certain amount, you're dealing with a YouTube bot. They won't listen to you, they won't talk to you unless you get to different levels, and it is how it is, one of them. Anyway, today, back right now with Armchair Detective is releasing this so-called book. You might hear cars in the background. In England it's boiling, we're having this big heat wave. I'm melting, so the window's open, my cat's hanging out of it. But anyway, he's releasing this book, but in the past, before he got onto that, the Chris Watts bandwagon, somebody else was releasing a book and asked him about it, and this was his genuine response to somebody making a book about Chris Watts and the murders and conspiracies and how much they're going to be earning and whether they should. He even says, you got to listen, even about it's like, is it right, is it wrong? Then it just completely switches. Having said all that, let's get on with it.
So at last there's an official book. Chris Watts has signed a contract agreeing to it. Letters from Christopher. The true story of how a lady made friends with him, collected this letter and made it into a book of over 200 pages. Now we know that Watts is not allowed to make money at the book, but is this woman allowed to make money? What will the Ruseks think of this? Has it got the blessing of the Watts? We know from my conversation with a psychiatrist last night, Richard said that Watts doesn't know if he's lying or telling the truth. There is no lies and truth with Watts, he just talks. So is there any point to a book? Is there any truth that we could possibly learn from what comes out of Chris Watts' mouth? I don't think so.
Wow. And this is the guy, ladies and gentlemen, who is now writing a book. He's completely switched around. He's writing a book and he's now making money out of the murder of the Chris Watts family. The Chris Watts, his pregnant girlfriend, which was Shannon, and the unborn child, Nico, and his two daughters, Bella and Cece. So, this is back in time before he jumped on the bandwagon, when this was him leading up to it, and he's made over £100,000, I'm guessing, in my estimate. And this woman who's making this book, he then goes into a web of using her in the future, but bam, I just wanted to bring that out to you now, that he's actually bringing out a book right now. But this is what he thought about it not too long ago, before the money started rolling in.
Sherilyn Cadell, whoever that is. Evidently she's obviously believing in God, because there's a lot of God mentioning of stuff which appeals to Chris. So you can buy it seems, for $19. Letters from Christopher. You can pre-order it. Is it right there should be a book? Is it right this woman should make possibly hundreds of thousands of pounds out of it?
Once again, now we know in his own mind what he thinks could be made out of a book. Two, in his eyes, don't forget, this book is him solving a murder, a case that's already been solved. Someone's in jail serving multiple life sentences, admitted everything. But for 3 years he's given breaking news that's going to change the case. He's got this insider, that insider. He's pretended to have the FBI on the phone, the governor of prisons. It's all been come out that it was none of them, and then he comes back, he falls back on it was a joke. But he weren't saying that at the day when people were sending in £10 super chats and this, that, the other. And now, you know, he thinks possibly making up to hundreds of thousands of pounds. This is just unbelievable. Moving on.
She says he's going to donate some of it to charity. How much of it? And us on YouTube have been pilloried for just talking about the case. This woman comes from nowhere and stands to make maybe who knows how much money out of it. And she's fine, she can do that. Well. What do you think of it? In snippets released, so I'm going to tell you what we've scoured the internet, what we've found. Some are her words, some are reviews, starting with this. Lynn is a mother and a grandmother, lives in Chicago, quite away from Wisconsin. How many times has she been to visit him? I'd like to know that. Facebook page, August 14th, viewers became intrigued with Christopher Lee Watts as he gave his interviews on his front porch, begging for the return of his pregnant wife and 2 youngest daughters. Of course, the world is looking for more information, the grisly murders, the plea deal, the silencing of any talking about it. It seems that Watts is going to talk, but to what avail? He doesn't tell the truth. It seems that she befriended him, and Watts decided to tell the whole story over again to her, given on-scene details. But 200 pages of, in fact. Well, the FBI and CBI would be very interested in these letters, won't they? To scour for hidden clues. Should this even be allowed, this book? While there's, in my opinion, an ongoing investigation, a book, a blurb from the publishers, Tragic Confessions of the Watts Family Murders by Sherilyn Cadell.
For one thing, it's not an ongoing investigation, and he repeated that twice as if to emphasise it. Yeah, at the second time he said it, he said, in my opinion, kept that quiet. This is an investigation that has been wrapped up, and like he said, should the FBI want to know about this, do you really think that, you know, that anything what's sent out in letters that the prison are not, especially an high profile character like Chris Watts, one, they're not photocopying each and every letter coming in and out, and two, not only that, you have people who are, they're professionals in like the areas of gang. They look for codes within pictures to do, or to do with any type of prison, and that's what they do. If they're not, they're the ones who do the riot squads. They go in and they twist people up when they're needed, and when they're not needed, it's not kicking off all the time. They're professionals in mail, and they know about everything. And what they're trying to say here is Chris Watts has said to her that on a visit you don't want to say about the murders because it could be it could be recorded, so I'm going to write it to you. Does that make sense? There's nothing new, all it is, and I think this is what's going to come next, what the book is going to be about. And it's not going to be about any murders, it's just going to be about what happened leading up to it. That's a big difference, a big difference. Nothing new at all, nothing breaking at all. So her book's out the window, his new book's out the window, and it shouldn't be in. It's caused the families a lot of pain and heartache, ladies and gentlemen. If this is coming to you for the first time, please look into it. Let's move on a little bit.
In the early morning of the 13th of August, the small, quiet Colorado town of Frederick, after murdering his family, Chris Watts calculated and coldly put his girls in oil battery tanks and buried his pregnant wife in a shallow grave, then returned to work like nothing happened. Chris ultimately pleaded guilty to the murders and is currently serving multiple life sentences. Now, while in prison, Chris receives tons of mail from family and friends, but also fans. Author Sherilyn Cadell decided that after a calling from God, she would write to Chris and ask him if she could write a book about his story. Now, surprisingly, he wrote back. After a few back and forth letters, Chris sent the paperwork to Sherilyn to put on the visitors list. She then visited him and they talked about her writing a book. After visiting him, she told Sherilyn he wanted to tell her his confessions in writing because he felt their conversations were being recorded. He revealed things to her that no one else knows, not even the FBI. Some of these details would be completely shocking for you to hear. Letters from Christopher, sounds like his mother talking, is a true crime story with important information to put the pieces of the puzzle together for inquiring minds. Read herein the complete truthful account of what happened to Shanann, Bella, Celeste and Nico Watts.
What did I tell you? And that's the premise to all this. That's what I want you to believe, that he wants to tell her about the murders, which he's already confessed and already given a full detail to her. But what you got to bear in mind, this isn't coming from Chris. This isn't coming from Chris at all. This is coming from other people now, on the premise that on a visit he thinks that, you know, the conversation's going to be heard. Yeah, he's going to write it in letters. Like I said, where you get the Mufti squad, who's professional, that all they do all day long is like either tie people up or pick them up, throw them in the block, whatever, or read letters. And then you've got the old timers who, you know, they're 56 years of age, that you know, they've been working in that prison all their life, they can no longer fight prisoners, and they've got all that knowledge, and they're there reading letters 100%. You can't get nothing past them. I mean, I suppose you can, but not a blatant letter like this, and supposedly giving new information. It's just from the start, it's a big money maker. This is all in my opinion, but am I wrong? And now he's doing the same thing, yet he's criticising her. And like I said, there's a little bit more to come which sums everything up, and you've got to hear this.
She loves true crime stories. Wow, what a load of codswallop this is going to be. We'll be reading what Chris Watts wants us to read, but without being questioned by the FBI. Now, I know that he doesn't know lying and telling the truth. It's been explained to me. He just speaks. She's excited to pass the message to us all that the letters from Christopher's can be out very soon, detailing the story of what really happened. And can we please spread the word? Well, I'm doing that tonight. I'm spreading the word, but I don't really want to. But I feel we need to talk about this. The author goes to great pains to tell us that a portion of the royalties are going to go to charity. Yeah, a portion. What is a portion? 5%? 10%? She's the lady of God, you know. Does she really be making money out of the death of these children? Does she really be making money out of the death of these children? Does she really be making money out of the death of these children? Do the families agree? Do the Ruseks agree? Do the Watts agrees? She wants to honour the families, right? Amateur campaign prevention of child abuse in families. Child abuse for sexual and domestic violence. What? On and on and on. Well, all very admirable. But I say again, why are the authorities allowing the publishing of this book? In a lot of countries it would get shut down before it was released. Exciting news, pre-sales start now, wow. Inside look at Christopher Watts' accounts of what happened leading up to the murders.
And there you have it, the very last thing, the very last bit, an inside account leading up what happened to the murders. So it's just about what happened in the days preceding, nothing about the case, because the case has been done, and you know, serving life and multiple life sentences for that. It's changed. It's a you know, a bait and switch. At the beginning it's about the case, you know, and new evidence, but at the end it's leading up to it. See what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention now, because there's a lot of people who know about this case but don't know that people are still earning money off it, and it's a done case. People have come out with breaking news for the last 3 years when there isn't no breaking news. It's all bait and switches like this. Now he's bringing out a book, so all what he's just said there is saying that about him. But not only that, they did have a plot where Chris was writing letters to her revolving him and other content creators about finding out the truth, and Chris was like, he was drugged up and there was men in the basement, and he never buried Shannon, his wife, and it got really crazy up until they got exposed because she wrote a month's worth of letters in advance. So she basically wrote and gave to him what was going to be coming in the future, what he was going to say in the future. So unless they had a time machine, do you know what I mean? Which turned out to be letters from years ago, which another content creator brought out and brought it all to light, and now he's throwing her under the bandwagon, but he's doing what she done 2 years ago. So it's just crazy. You should have a look into the case. And I even saying the case, it does my head in, because he calls it the case and he's like, just leave me alone to be left with the case. And he puts down, you know, the victim's family. It's bad. It's very bad. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this, get this little bit out of my system. It's all my opinions, even though I'm just saying that to cover myself, but it's all their words. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Please look into it, because this has got to stop. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. I'll be doing future videos in the future. Please like and subscribe. I'm doing updates on different people, some the rise and falls of people. Be looking more into Sean Atwood, see if anything else is happening, because as soon as he got his channel back, it was gone. As soon as I uploaded the one saying he's got it back, been took down again. Wow. Anyway, that's it for now. You all take care. Catch you on the rebound. Bye. Dum 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 dum.